Hey guys, in this video we're making this beautiful pendant with an offset circle metal ring and a beautiful stone hanging in the centre. I'm using a boulder opal for my design today with a front to back drilled hole. Now my little offset circle here, I've hand stamped my kids' names on it. Now your pendant needs to sit inside that circle in the centre with a few millimetres on the top and bottom so that it can hang freely. For our design we're using about 50 inches of 1.5mm satin nylon cord. I find it helps to cut the end on an angle, and I just mount the end of that cord so it pushes through the hole a bit easier. So you do need to use a thread small enough to fit through the hole on your pendant. So just twisting and placing that pendant onto our cord. Now place the ends of our cord together and pull our pendant down into the middle of our cord. Now we can tie the first knot, which sits in between the pendant and circle. Now holding the pendant in our left hand with the cords on the right, we grab this bottom cord and take it over the back and down around our finger. And again towards the left to form 2 full loops around our finger here. Now gently removing both loops, and then with the end of our cord bring that around and place it down both loops. Pulling it out the right hand side and gently working this knot down nice and tight and tidy. So keeping those loops in their same order and working this knot down tight. This does make a type of sliding knot, so you should be able to pull that knot nice and tight and then slide it up if you want it really close to the pendant. So depending on how much room you've got in between your pendant and that circle, you might need it quite tight and slid right up against the pendant. You can still tweak it later on. So next up we're just going to place our little ring onto the cord. So just on one side, making sure the front of the pendant is sitting with the front of the ring, if they do have fronts and backs. Mine do, so just making sure they're both sitting with the fronts facing forward. Now it's on to the second knot that's going to hold that circle in place. So same as the first knot, holding our pendant in our left hand. Now we grab that bottom cord and take it down the back and around our finger towards the left 2 times to make 2 full loops around our finger here. Now gently removing the 2 loops and bringing the cord around and placing it down both loops. Pulling it out the right hand side and gently pulling this knot down nice and tight and tidy. Gently working with our cord so that we can pull this knot up nice and tight close to the ring. Take your time tweaking it until you're happy with it. You can always untie and retie these knots until they're in the right positions. But once you're happy with it, then we can go ahead and just tie some sliding knots onto our necklace cord. So first up, just make sure your cords are still nice and even. So pull them out and just cut the longer length off. Now we lay our necklace down on the table. Overlapping our cords with this left side cord on the top. Picking it up and holding it in our left hand with this left side cord at the back. We bring it over the front, down and out the back to form our first loop here. Now working towards the left, bring it over the front, down and out the back for our second loop here. Now bending the end of our cord around and placing it down both loops. Pulling it out the right hand side and gently pulling our knot down tight and tidy. Once you're happy with this first sliding knot, we swap the necklace onto the opposite side and again hold it in our left hand with this left side cord at the back. Now bringing this cord over the front, down and out the back to form our first loop here. And again, over the front, down and out the back for our second loop. Now bending the end of our cord around, placing it down both loops. Now this time we're going to try and pull our knot down tight with this side. So slowly and gently working this knot down so that it sits nice and even with the first knot. So because our cords were even, we want these little tail ends to be about the same length. Once you're happy with it, then pull it down nice and tight. Just check that everything is sitting nice and evenly and that you're happy with everything. You can try it on as well and just make sure it fits okay. So those knots should slide along the other cords to adjust your necklace. So if you're happy with them, then cut these tails off just outside the knots and cinch with a lighter so they don't fray. So there's your beautiful metal ring and pendant necklace.